All right, we're back again with another episode of Roofer Reflections. I'm really happy to have Erick here. Erick, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, so excited to be here and just kind of share with about the industry.
It's cool that you come sort of from the technology side. I mean, the roofing industry, there's just so many different aspects of it, so it's always cool to cover various aspects of it.
Yeah, and my background is in kind of sales, CRM, coming from a big software company, and so that plus my mentorship with kind of really big roofing companies that we'll get into, birthed Followup. So that's the cool part about it.
Just looking at your background, I think you had an interest in entrepreneurship early. Is that the case?
Yeah, I was the kid with the lemonade stand, selling things to kids on the way home from school and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sales and entrepreneurship was a early thing. I mean, when did you know that starting a business was the ultimate goal?
Probably for a while because so even my degree when I went to Liberty University, they had like a track for entrepreneurs, and that's kind of where I went down. And it's really about starting things, growing things, and just starting businesses. So.
You said you had a job at a large sort of technology company, and then I guess you had a mentor and you discovered roofing. But walk me through that.
Yeah, so after school, I had a job out of Fort Lauderdale at a big company called Citrix, which is a older software company. Their flagship product is GoToMeeting, so it was Zoom before Zoom actually existed, which is cool. So I sold that full time, did renewals there, and I did that for about 6 years. One of the cool things that I got experience with at Citrix was being able to help the sales team in general just further their adoption with Salesforce. So I became Salesforce certified and it kind of got into understanding how Salesforce actually worked, and then further kind of deployed it there and not knowing what my future kind of had for me.
So from there to roofing, how did it happen?
I always had the entrepreneurship bug. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to work at a big $1 billion software company anymore. I want to go to a smaller place with bigger impact and really move the needle, right? And so just from various local kind of faith-based connections down here in South Florida, I met Greg Wallach, and he recently just sold Best Roofing, which was a $100 million commercial roofing contractor based out of South Florida. And from there, he's been my mentor kind of ever since.
Being at sort of an entrepreneur level, coming from a larger company, I mean, what sort of things helped you? What sort of things did you have to learn?
I always warn people going from a big, large company to a small startup, it's not for everybody. You have to be comfortable kind of forging your own path, right? And the way I like to say it is like a startup or building a business as a leader, you're going through the jungle with a machete and you're just forging and hacking away at different things to make the path for others to follow behind you. So, where at my old company, Citrix, you do things a particular way every time. And in a small company, you're just figuring it out as you go.
What did you do to sort of immerse yourself or get yourself into the roofing industry?
Part of our story early on, which I loved, is that, Greg owned his building where he ran his commercial roofing company out of, and Followup had its own suite inside that building. So we were in the middle of this, $100 million commercial roofing company. And so whenever we would release a feature, we just go downstairs and see how it worked, right? And to see if people liked it, for better or for worse, right? And so what that means when things didn't work, they just walked up the stairs and said, "Hey, we need your help," right? And so it was really good. I called them our incubator at the time. And we would always roll it out to them first. So, they would always give us feedback. We would improve and improve the feature or, whatever was going on with the system. And then we would roll it out to everybody else, right? So they were definitely our guinea pigs, and we're thankful for them for kind of being that guinea pig along the journey.
Being someone that interacts with a lot of contractors in the roofing industry, and for someone that got to know the roofing industry coming from somewhere They say that, like, people kind of discover, maybe a lot of people discover the roofing industry accidentally, but they, tend to stay. Why do you think that is?
Roofing is a really good business, you know. Some people might think that roofing's hard work, and it definitely is. You know, but as you're building a business, you know, as you start to grow a company, it's really fulfilling to be able to see all these buildings that you can drive by and say, "Hey, I put the roof on that," right? You get to tell your kids that you contributed to the society that they're building. So there's a lot of, you know, gratifying work that comes with that, to say, "Hey, I was a part of, you know, building out that hospital, or putting the, you know, the roof on that church," right? So you get to see your product in real life. So that's what I really think motivates people.
In terms of someone that was trying to, on the fence, trying to get into the roofing industry or want to explore it, what sort of advice do you have for people?
Know that it's a journey, right? So I have a lot of companies that are maybe in the early stages, or you know, I talk to a lot of people that might be leaving to start a roofing company, and they want to start you know, using a CRM to start tracking things. And the thing that I always advise them is, yes, you have dreams for $100 million exit like Greg had, right? But that doesn't happen overnight. It took him 20 years to build Best Roofing into that kind of enterprise, right? And when he first started, you know, with Best Roofing back in the day, the system and processes had to match the size of the company, right? So, like, one example of that I see a lot of small companies make a mistake with is they're all obsessed with automations, right? And automating everything, and efficiency, and all of this. In the beginning, really, that doesn't matter. You just need to make a sale, right? You need to hit the revenue, and then you know, get that contract, and make sure you're giving life to the business by selling deals, right? You don't have to worry about an automated email, right? That is nice to have. However, you can get into that automation once you have contracts flowing in the door, right? So different stages of company building requires different focuses.